All right, we do want to head back up to New Hampshire, where there are just about a little less than 3 hours left to vote.
That is right. JC and Corey joining us once again live from Manchester. Guys, I hear the two of you have a special guest, the woman of the hour there as well.
Always. She just travels with us, right?
Right.
I mean, if anything about politics lately, it reinforces the fact that basically anything can happen.
Yeah, we saw that in 2016, 2020, the midterms in 2022. But there are those people out there who can really shed some light on why things shake out the way that they do. One such person is with us here in Manchester, New Hampshire. That, of course, is NBC 10 Boston political commentator and my at-issue co-host, Sue O'Connell. Sue, thanks for being here with us. Your day to shine, of course. So let's jump right in. I want to talk about Nikki Haley. Does she have to win tonight, or if she comes in second place, how close does that second place have to be for New Hampshire to be a success for her?
Yeah, she doesn't have to win tonight, Corey and JC. In fact, some of the greatest victories in New Hampshire have been people who came in second or third. Bill Clinton comes to mind, and some people who have lost end up going on to be president. Joe Biden comes to mind. So just to frame the conversation of what winning is. So I think that if she exceeds expectations, and that means whatever the highest number she has on the poll that our Suffolk University, Boston Globe, NBC 10 Boston polling is, if she comes above that, then she has exceeded expectations. Now, if we want a big win, that means if she gets it within single digits of where Trump finishes. And of course, there's always an opportunity for what we love to call the New Hampshire surprise. If she actually beats Trump by any number, that's going to propel her into the next level and then onward to South Carolina. Corey and JC.
All right, Sue, let me flip the table on that one, though. Let's say this does not go Haley's way. What we hear from reports and even from voters is that Nikki Haley supporters are not necessarily Trump supporters. So do you think that she would be able to tap into that pool of voters should it end up being once again a Trump-Biden election?
Yeah, I mean, so the problem that Donald Trump has is that he is not changing his message or reaching out to anybody beyond his core. And, you know, we can guess that if he wins the primary and gets the nomination, the Republicans are going to go with him, but then he has to win in the general. Nikki Haley's problem, to your question, JC, is that if she wins or loses in New Hampshire, she's going to be painted either way as a candidate who didn't win the Republican vote. It's going to be the independents, the unaffiliated, I think they're, and the younger voters that are just registering for the first time. And so that's going to take her to South Carolina. And if she really can't start polling in South Carolina better than she is now, it's really going to be an uphill climb for her to get anywhere close to Trump. I don't think Trump is ever going to jump out of the race. And I'm not sure Nikki Haley is either, because anything could happen with Trump in the next coming months.
That's true.
Sue, we know it's no secret the Biden campaign hopes that Donald Trump is the nominee. They don't want to run against Nikki Haley. The polls suggest that she beats Joe Biden in a head-to-head matchup. But if it is, you know, Biden versus Trump, we know Trump is still going to have a lot of support. Why is that? Why can't the Republican Party quit Donald Trump?
Well, because he's winning. I mean, he lost the last time, he lost the midterms, but somehow he presents this idea that he's winning, and the Republicans just sort of buy into it. It's also the power source. I mean, we can see, I was out in the lobby earlier, Vivek Ramaswamy was here, you know, certainly someone who criticized him a lot. Tim Scott, someone who criticized him a lot as well. Now they're on the Trump side. You know, the nominee of the party has got a substantial amount of power, and they want to be on that side. Your bigger question, Corey, as to why the Republicans, the traditional, and as Congressman Stephen Lynch said on that issue a couple of weeks ago, the normal Republicans, why can't they quit Trump? I'm not really sure why they don't. And if he goes on for the nomination and doesn't win the presidency, the Republican Party has a lot of soul searching to do to see if they're going to split it to two parties or they're just going to keep on this crazy train.
All right, Sue, you're going to be with us throughout the night, so we'll be talking to you a lot. Thanks so much.